Cycling is a sport steeped in tradition and history, and change is often viewed with suspicion if not downright hostility. Are disc brakes an industry marketing scam, or just part of an ever-changing evolution in the improvement of the good old bicycle? In no particular order, here are the most common criticisms of the road disc brake that we hear, and why we, for the most part, disagree with them. Disc brakes are definitely heavier than the rim brake counterparts, but in the grand scheme of things, the difference is pretty minor. Even if discs added a whole kilo to your bike, which they don't, a rough estimate is that the extra weight would cost you about 20 to 30 seconds up a big climb, something like the Alpe d'Huez. Now, if you're climbing the Alpe d'Huez to win the Tour, or you're just a climber, sure, that extra weight could matter. But for the great majority of us, it doesn't. That's not to say you can't be a weight weenie and have disc brakes. Focus, for example, has a full-on race bike that weighs 6.8 kilos, with discs. Now, you probably know that the UCI, which is cycling's governing body, suspended disc brakes in use in the Pro Peloton in 2016 after one rider injured his leg. The jury's still out on whether BikeRadar was actually to blame here. Nonetheless, we can see how pros might be worried about how a hot or sharp disc brake could cause some mayhem in a 200-strong peloton. For the rest of us, though, the risks are far less, and the manufacturers are currently working on new standards of disc that could be even safer. Whether this means rounded edges or a dedicated fairing remains to be seen, but we don't think it'll be long until the small chance of hurting yourself by falling on a disc rotor gets even smaller. As their name promises, quick releases work well for getting wheels on and off the bike quickly. They work great for rim brakes, but they can make aligning a disc wheel pretty difficult when you're trying to do it quickly. Through axles definitely can help with rotor alignment, but they are slower to use by a couple of seconds. Again, this is a pretty race-specific concern. For those of us who are just changing a flat tire on our way home from work, it's not really an issue. That said, Focus has a win-win solution with its rat axles, which are through axles that release with a quarter turn. Now, this is perhaps the most common reason we hear from people reluctant to accept road disc brakes into their lives. Usually, the reasoning goes something like this: hey, I can lock up my wheels with the brakes I have. They're clearly powerful enough. Now, the thing is, though, if you're locking up your wheels, you're making a mistake. The point of brakes is not to go sliding down the road out of control. The most effective braking involves progressively modulating the applied force to come as close to possible as locking up, without actually doing so. Now, disc brakes make this much easier, and you can expect it to happen consistently in all weather using just one finger on each lever. Strong, ultra-dependable brakes that are simple to use? What is wrong with that? Aha! And now we have come to the crux of the matter. A lot of road riders just don't like how discs look. Appearance is a purely subjective matter, of course, and we aren't going to argue with you about it. It does seem like a matter of what we're accustomed to, though, like hairstyles or clothing or anything else. Road bikes with good caliper brakes are going to be around for a while, and no one will be forcing you to do anything. But the next time you're in the market for a new road bike, at least go test ride one with hydraulics, then get back to us on how funny they look.